Hollywood is known for fame, fortune, and blockbuster careers, but for some stars, family came first. From Sandra Bullock and Cameron Diaz to Rick Moranis and Phoebe Cates, these actors made the surprising decision to step away from the spotlight and focus on the people they love most. Here are 10 actors who walked away from Hollywood for their families. Sandra Bullock shocked fans when she stepped away from the spotlight just as her career was still going strong. After spending years balancing blockbuster hits with acclaimed dramatic performances, Bullock announced that she wanted something different for a while. Her priority became spending all of her time with her children and family. Following her screen appearances in 2022, Bullock largely disappeared from acting, choosing family life over taking on more projects. While she never called it retirement, she made it clear that being with her loved ones was where she wanted to be, putting her career on pause to focus on what mattered most to her. Cameron Diaz spent 2 decades working almost non-stop before making a decision that shocked Hollywood. After starring in major films across the 1990s and 2000s, Diaz announced a break from acting in 2017. The demanding travel that came with the profession was one reason behind the decision, and she had also begun focusing on other pursuits, including writing books and entrepreneurial work. Then, a major life change followed, the birth of her first child. What started as a break turned into what Diaz described as retirement. She ultimately spent nearly a decade away from movies, with no new film credits between 2014 and 2025. Demi Moore was one of Hollywood's busiest stars, then suddenly hit the brakes on a career that seemed unstoppable. After years of non-stop work, Moore faced a series of major life changes. Her mother died, her marriage to Bruce Willis ended, and she had 3 daughters to raise: Tallulah, Scout, and Rumor Willis. Those events led her to reevaluate her priorities and step back from work to spend more time with her children. Moore didn't completely leave acting, but her pace slowed dramatically. After appearing in 9 films across 1995, 1996, and 1997, she shifted to a much more balanced workload while focusing on family. Christine Taylor realized something unexpected after becoming a parent. Acting was no longer her top priority. Following roles in films like The Brady Bunch Movie, The Wedding Singer, and Zoolander, Taylor found herself disconnected from the entertainment world after having her first child. By the time she reunited with Ben Stiller for Dodgeball, a true underdog story, she was already focused on motherhood. After welcoming another child and later working on Tropic Thunder, Taylor decided she wanted to be present for her family. Rather than pursuing a bigger acting career, she chose to be a steady presence at home while continuing to act only occasionally. Rick Moranis walked away from Hollywood at the height of his fame, and the reason had nothing to do with chasing another role. After the death of his wife, Moranis took time off from acting to grieve and spend more time with his children as a single father. What started as a break became something much bigger. He discovered he didn't miss Hollywood as much as he expected, so he continued focusing on his kids instead of returning to acting just for the sake of it. During that time, he stayed largely away from live-action films and only made occasional voice and television appearances. Just when his Hollywood career was on a massive roll, Freddie Prinze Jr. made a choice that changed everything. After starring in some of the most recognizable teen horror movies and romantic comedies of the era, and following the success of the 2002 live-action Scooby-Doo film alongside Sarah Michelle Gellar, Prinze Jr. shifted his focus toward family life. He never completely disappeared from entertainment, continuing with occasional animated voice work and even appearing during the 9th season of Bones. But the fast-rising career path he was on slowed down significantly, with family becoming a major reason for that change. Eva Mendes was one of Hollywood's most sought-after stars. Then she suddenly disappeared from the screen. After building a successful career with films like Training Day, Too Fast, Too Furious, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico, everything changed when Mendes became a parent in 2014. She chose to set aside her acting career and focus on raising her child, and later her children. Since then, Mendes has largely stayed away from acting, with only the animated series Bluey appearing on her screen credits. She has also said she would consider acting again if the project were focused on kids and families. Cary Grant made a surprising choice that few men of his era would have considered. After becoming a father at age 62, Grant stepped away from acting despite already having a legendary career spanning more than 70 films. He was determined to give his daughter, Jennifer, a better childhood than the one he experienced himself. Rather than continuing to build his film career, Grant focused on being a full-time parent and making sure his daughter never faced the neglect he had suffered growing up. That decision became such an important part of his legacy that Jennifer later named one of her own children after him. Elizabeth Hurley stepped away from Hollywood for years, and the reason had nothing to do with a lack of opportunities. After building a successful acting career with films like Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, Serving Sarah, Bedazzled, and The Weight of Water, Hurley largely disappeared from acting after 2004's Method. Her son Damien was the reason. Hurley chose not to take major acting jobs because she didn't want him growing up on movie sets, in trailers, or relying on tutors. Instead, she wanted him to have what she described as a regular life, leading her to take a lengthy break from acting. Phoebe Cates seemed to vanish from Hollywood almost overnight, leaving fans wondering where one of the biggest stars of the 1980s had gone. After years of non-stop work between 1982 and 1994, Cates stepped away from acting while still in her early 30s. Many people knew she had married Kevin Kline and had 2 children, but few realized she had chosen to focus entirely on her family. Aside from appearing in the 2001 film The Anniversary Party as a favor to her friend Jennifer Jason Leigh, Cates never returned to acting. Instead, she spent the following decades as a wife, mother, and businesswoman.